Hey there, y'all, and welcome to today's Daily Down and Dirty. My name is Fairlight. Welcome to Airy Fairy Tarot. All right, y'all, the message today is one of process in a very big way. So the first one that came out was this 8 of air sideways. So if you look at this guy, and again, I just feel like when they're landing sideways, it's just speaking of a process. Lately, it's just all we're in process. But if you look at him upright, this is what we're in process of unlearning, of unpatterning ourselves. You see how he's stabbing himself in the hand in order to try to keep the balance of communication. It is such a mental demonstration of toxic codependency. Sacrificing our own truth, sacrificing our own needs, sacrificing our own words, sacrificing ourselves so that we can keep the peace. And there ain't no fucking peace in that, because you're repressing it all into yourself and you're not at peace, and your peace fucking matters. And fuck peace if you're and I don't say fuck peace because, like, let's all strive for peace, but true peace, when we can truly authentically express our truth without fear. So I think we're in process of disabling these old thought mindfuck programs. Okay, so then we've got the Queen of Water, and she is overlighting another process where we've got the Death Rebirth card, we've got this 11 of Earth, and we've got this 5 of Air. La la la. And in this deck, you know, it's its own thing. So with this Queen of Water, I love the moon over her head. She is aligned to her own divine timing. And then, of course, I have to go off into La La Land for a minute, talking about how true time is cyclical. True time is cyclical. True time is cyclical in nature. Just as the earth goes around the sun, just as all the planets go around the sun, it's all cyclical in nature. It's better represented as a spiral. Just as the moon goes around the earth, true time is cyclical in nature. Isn't it interesting that the feminine bodies produce a monthly cycle in accordance with the movement of the moon? So this feels very strongly a message of realigning to your own divine timing, and especially in connection to the emotions that want to come up. We're in a process, again, we're in an alchemical process, and we are transmuting lower vibrational energies such as trauma and fear and obedience and all these programs. We are transmuting these, alchemizing these into higher vibrational frequencies. And so, you know, part of unlearning this process leads to mastery of our emotions. So, because when we acknowledge our emotions without repressing them, then the shit doesn't have to get buried in our bodies. So when we go a little bit deeper, what's inside this process, and we've got the Death Rebirth card reversed. And so these reversals I'm taking as process, because again, this guy and then her being upright. We are in the process of a death rebirth. I love that there's a baby inside that egg sitting on the laurels of the blackened skulls. And so moving from the dark into the light, and then it goes back again from the light into the dark. We die to the old and then we're reborn. And so process. La la la. And then with these two, I really like these two cards together, and especially in light of this one, because this one, it's like, again, we were just talking about divine timing. I feel like this guy represents the false structure of time, the false structure of the time matrix, the false authority that the clock has been established as. And you see how, like, he looks dead inside. And even this, the way the points are connecting, it kind of looks like a coffin. To me, it does. And so, so it's like, you know, we're coming out of feeling so robotic, feeling so like we have to fear and obey and show up on time and follow the schedule and all that stuff. And not that there's anything wrong with having a schedule and being organized, but when it interferes with creativity, when it interferes with authenticity, and mostly when it interferes with sovereignty, then fuck that fucking clock. Okay, don't worry about the chaos. And so then what I love about this card is that this speaks about there is sacredness in the mundane, and there is mundane in the sacredness. I fucking love this card. And so it feels like allowing all things to be sacred, and instead of being robotic, obedient little, you know, icky, whatever words that I want to use. Instead of it being that way, you know, we come back into the sacredness of being. And even if we don't show up on time, then there's something sacred about our sovereign free will. Even if we didn't intend to do it, we're still showing up in our own divine timing. There's just a reorienting ourselves again to the sacredness of all that is. And so going out into nature, it's a very sacred thing, but it's also very mundane. There's just I like that correlation, that there's mundane even in the sacred, because it's like it's such a natural, normal part of life, or it could be, and it once that used to be the normal thing. And then also bringing back to the everyday mundane things and finding the sacredness in that moment. Every moment is sacred. It's all beautiful. I love the saying, everything is sacred but nothing matters. So that's the process we are in, dying to the old ways, being reborn to the new ways. And then lastly, we have this 13 of fire. So she's like the queen of fire. And she's on top of this card, which is the 11 of air. I really love this. So this is all about engaging with your creativity. And normally the Queen of Wands, you know, she's known to be the witch of the tarot of all the queens, because she's got, normally it's a black cat. She's got a little orange lion kitty, but look how pretty those eyes are. Anyway, but she knows her power. She knows her magic. She knows her power of manifestation, and she's inspired by her creative urges. She's inspired. She's passionate, she's motivated, she's sexy, she knows it all. And so I love that this clarifies that, showing that there's been a lot of emphasis lately on remembering that the great universal mind. I'm a student of the science of mind, written by Ernest Holmes and taught by the Centers for Spiritual Living, and I love them. And you know, they talk about it's all mind. I like to go in the energy of it's all creation energy. But either way, it's all the same thing. There's consciousness to this creation energy. And so it's thought forms. We create thought forms. We manifest. But I feel like we get the creative urge with the song that's in our being, the song that we are being. But who cares, chicken or the egg, right? But it's this divine inspiration, and then it speaks to your heart. And so it's like you get moved by, it's like the heart mind. There was something I wanted to say about that. Your higher self will put it in your heart what it is that you're supposed to want. And so it's not this like lower task-oriented mind. It's this greater consciousness that you are, that you be, that when you receive it, when you're moving, when you're working through your heart, you can trust that higher mind is working through you, aligned to your creative, authentic, sovereign, you know, purpose, or whatever that you want to call it. All right, that's all I have for today. Of course, I have to give a little shout out to Instant Karma Asheville, because I like to borrow their hats to do my videos. Come on in, get cute hats, get beautiful tapestries, get gorgeous stones and candles and all kinds of fun things, tarot decks too. And if you're not in Asheville, they have a .com, instantkarmaasheville.com, I believe. And but also if you're in Asheville, come on in, get a palm or tarot reading from me, or astrology. Also, I do online readings, so hit me up. Either way, peace and love until next time.